April 25th, 1986, Friday. Spring had finally reached northern Ukraine. The cherry trees in Pripyat were in bloom. Children were walking to school. Couples were planning weekend picnics by the river. No one knew this was the last normal sunrise they would ever see. From the ninth-floor balconies, you could see the power plant's silver dome shimmering in the distance. It was the pride of the Soviet Union, the safest reactor ever built. At least, that's what everyone believed. The city felt young, average age 26. Scientists, engineers, teachers, bus drivers. A perfect model of progress. Somewhere, a radio played soft music. Somewhere else, a mother packed her son's lunch. And somewhere, inside the control room of Reactor 4, a quiet test was being prepared. A routine experiment no one would ever forget. The day began with sunlight. It would end in silence.
Pripyat was alive. Cafes open, movie theater full, wedding dresses sold out for spring. People rode bikes past the amusement park, the one that would never open. Workers laughed during their lunch breaks. The city was clean, hopeful, almost proud. In the afternoon, small clouds drifted over the cooling towers. A few engineers looked up, joking that the sky matched their uniforms. No one noticed the faint hum from the reactor, the pulse of something too big to understand. At 5 p.m., the shift changed. The night team arrived, younger, ambitious, careful but overconfident. They'd been told to perform an energy test. Nothing dangerous. They had done it before. The day faded slowly, beautifully. Streetlights flickered on. Somewhere, a young man proposed to his girlfriend. Somewhere else, a child whispered, "I want to work at the power plant when I grow up." In 24 hours, that dream would no longer exist.
Inside the control room, the air felt thick. It smelled of metal, dust, and strong tea. The men on duty were tired, but focused. They weren't villains, just human, obeying orders, chasing efficiency, believing the system knew best. "Comrade, we need to lower the power," one of them said. "Hold it steady," another replied. Outside, the sky turned deep blue. Windows glowed in the distance. Families watched TV shows, made plans for Saturday, drifted to sleep. At the plant, the test continued. Numbers flickered. Valves turned. A silent chain of small, invisible mistakes began, each one harmless on its own. Together, fatal. The youngest engineer wrote a note in his logbook. He would never write another.
11:30 p.m. Something was wrong. Reactor power had dropped too low. They tried to fix it, but every correction made it worse. Instruments disagreed. Readings jumped like ghosts. "Should we stop the test?" someone asked. Silence. Then, "No, we proceed." In Pripyat, midnight lights shimmered on empty streets. Dogs barked in the distance. The world was perfectly still. A warning alarm blinked on the panel, red, persistent, ignored. Another blinked, then another. The men exchanged uneasy glances. No one wanted to be the first to panic. No one wanted to fail the system. History would remember that silence more than any explosion.
1:23 a.m. The final seconds. A hum, a flash, a sound like the earth splitting open.
Control rods jammed halfway. Pressure spiked beyond reason. Metal tore apart. Then a roar that shattered the night. Windows burst in nearby buildings. People awoke, confused. They saw a column of light, blue, alive, wrong, rising into the sky. At the plant, the roof was gone. Graphite blocks glowed like stars. Debris rained down like burning snow. No one had words, only the feeling that something enormous had just died, and something invisible had just been born.
Firefighters rushed in within minutes. No radiation suits, no warning, no time. They thought it was a regular fire. They climbed the roof. Boots melted beneath them. They lifted burning graphite with their bare hands. One of them looked at the strange light and whispered, "It's beautiful." Then he began to vomit. Down below, the control room was chaos. Meters dead, phones silent. No one understood what had happened or how bad it was. In the city, people gathered on balconies, watching the distant glow. Parents woke their children to see the beautiful blue fire. They didn't know they were watching death itself. That night, the air became poison, and the world kept breathing it in.
2:30 a.m. Pripyat slept under a silent storm. Invisible dust settled on laundry lines, playgrounds, open windows. It looked like snow. Ambulances carried the first patients to the hospital, men with burns that weren't burns. Doctors had never seen anything like it. In the control room, someone whispered, "Reactor destroyed." But no one wanted to write that down. Across the river, the sky still glowed, and the city still dreamed of summer, of weddings, of life.
Sunrise came golden, gentle, clean. Birds sang. It looked like the beginning of another perfect day. Children went to school. Men went fishing. Women shopped at the market, holding bread still warm from the oven. The radioactive cloud moved silently overhead. By noon, people felt metallic tastes in their mouths. Some vomited, others fainted, but no one knew why. Officials said everything was fine. By the river, a fisherman noticed the water boiling near the surface. He packed his things and walked away. He never returned. By evening, the first soldiers arrived, but they told no one anything.
April 27th, noon. Loudspeakers crackled. "Comrades, please prepare for temporary evacuation. You will return in 3 days." Buses rolled into Pripyat, endless lines of green and yellow. Families gathered what they could: documents, photos, children's toys. They locked doors they would never open again. Dogs chased the buses, barking, confused. Windows closed one by one. The city exhaled. As the last bus left, the wind shifted. Radiation climbed. Pripyat, a city built for forever, was now just a place for ghosts. Not everyone left. Some refused. Old men guarding their gardens, women waiting for husbands, soldiers cleaning debris. They worked on rooftops so deadly that no one could stay longer than 90 seconds. Every minute was a death sentence. A young soldier whispered, "We'll be fine, right?" No one answered. They threw pieces of graphite into the reactor hole, blind, shaking. They called them bio-robots. When machines failed, men replaced them. Many of them lived only weeks. Their names are barely remembered, but without them, half of Europe would have burned. For 2 days, the world knew nothing. The Soviet news stayed quiet. Planes detected radiation in Sweden first. Only then did the truth begin to leak out. Moscow denied, then hesitated, then blamed. But silence was louder than any admission. In hospitals, the first responders screamed in pain, skin turning to glass, organs dissolving. They asked if they had done something wrong. They hadn't. They had saved the world. Outside their windows, spring kept blooming, as if nothing had happened. History turned its face away, ashamed of what it saw.
Today, Pripyat is silent. The Ferris wheel never turned. The toys still wait in classrooms. The clocks still point to 1:23. Grass grows through asphalt. Nature took back what humans abandoned. But the air still whispers, faint, electric, eternal. Every building holds echoes of that day, the laughter, the confusion, the calm before the scream. Chernobyl wasn't just a disaster, it was a reminder of how fragile our progress is, how quickly brilliance becomes ruin, and how easily silence can destroy the world. Somewhere in that silence, you can still hear the hum of Reactor 4, a ghost heartbeat of the day humanity burned itself and learned nothing.